Hey everyone, it's Deggen, here to talk about Paymail, of course. A couple of new features launched. I just want to walk you through them, give a little demo of some of the cool new stuff that I've been working on. And also an opportunity for devs to learn about how the Paymail protocol works itself, so that they can implement it for things like receipts. If you've built a shopping cart, for example, we'll get into that. First up, I want to talk about RealAx. So I've been working with the guys from the RealAx Wallet, and it's great. It's very versatile, and they're much faster than any team I've worked with before. So it's been great. We've been building some new cool stuff. So first of all, I want to show you exactly what it looks like to use RealAx Wallet and Paymail together. When you first use RealAx with Paymail, what happens is this dialog shows up at the bottom right. Just click on that to bring you to the Relay 1 page, where there will be a QR code to scan, and you just scan that with the app like I'm showing you just now, and then authorize. Then it will successfully link to your One account. So you can see that that is what's happening here. It's not your main account within RealAx, it's your One account at the top there. So you may need to top that up from your main account, and then you'll have enough to spend in Paymail. So what that does is it allows you to pre-authorize a certain spend amount. And as soon as you've done that, we can continue with RealAx Wallet. So once you've set that up with your mobile wallet, this is what you see. You see a normal inbox, but the difference is nothing is, you don't need any decryption. It's all working already. So that's super, super fast. And this is true if you continue to send messages. You can see that in order to send the message itself, you do need to swipe, but that's because you want to authorize potentially lots of value there. So that's going to use up your pre-signed credit really quickly. So there is still a swipe to send, but that's intentional. It decrypts automatically, so you're not constantly swiping just to read your messages. So that's very, very quick. I'm very, very excited about that. I mean, it just makes using the app so much smoother. You know, it's great. I really love it. Worth also talking about the fact that you can now use this user panel at the top. So I'm just going to zoom in on it so you can really see what's going on here. So this allows you to switch to dark mode. So here's the button there. It also allows you to adjust your settings. So that takes you, this cog here takes you to the setup page, which has a whole new flow. If I just get rid of this to show you what the flow looks like. So if I wanted to set up notifications for the first time, this is what you see, a really blank page, pretty much. So all you need to do is follow these very simple instructions. Verify your address, pause for drama, Paymail notifier. So this is what you see in your emails. Verification required. Paymail sent to RealAx.io, Deggen at RealAx.io will notify that email address. So yes, that's correct. You'll see there's a little one-time pass here, and let's just say, actually, I far prefer people send messages to me here because I can read them really quickly. So as I change this, you can see the amount changes there. So let's just say 4 cents, anything over 4 cents. And send a payment. Cool. Email notifications are now on, and there it is. Great. So the Paymail at the threshold, 4 cents, will send an email to that. Much cleaner, I think. So here we've got some interesting new features. So the first one being that I can actually swap between inboxes. So if we keep this open, so at the moment, I'm in the d@moneybutton.com inbox, and to switch to example@moneybutton.com. There we go. So these are all the messages to example@moneybutton.com. So here's a message I sent earlier. Okay, cool. I can decrypt that as normal. So this numeric value here, this value is how many unread messages I have and the accumulation of value that represents. So we can see that this is 8 cents here. And so when I decrypt that, we'll see that the the value that represented at the user panel here is now just 0. So it's sort of gone dim because it's 0. And you'll see I've got a couple of Paymails here that I don't use as much. And you can add another one. So let's just say, let me think of a Paymail that I have. I think I have John at button.com. I need to sell that, obviously. There are no Paymails here because no one has ever sent a message to John. So let's just say I want to send to John at moneybutton.com. Hello, hello, hello. Fine. There we go. Send. So this will order by the highest value you have unread in that inbox. So I know Deggen at Probatus, that is my main Paymail. And so that's where I ought to go. If I want to read these messages here, they're the highest value. So these are just from other Paymails that I own at the moment. So that will rank order my Paymails based on how much is being sent to them. So let's take a look at, which was it again? Was it example? I think example, no, it was John, wasn't it? So where's John? There we go. So now there's something, you can now write yourself Paymails. There is the sort of infrastructure in the back end to do that successfully. So this is the one I sent to myself. Hello, hello, hello. Great, but now it's read. Again, there's nothing in the inbox. The really exciting thing about this panel is that you can also start sending from these Paymails. So that was never possible before. You would always send from your primary. So let's just say I want to send from D, and let's just say RealAx.io. There we go. Hello. Hello. Okay, so let's send 24 cents or 19 pence to Deggen at RealAx.io. Okay, so the important part here is that this message will have been sent and signed by D at MoneyButton. See, D at moneybutton.com. And so when we switch back to RealAx, which I'll show you here, let's switch back to that. When we switch back, we have a message from D. So now we can start treating these things as if they're really genuinely separate entities. So if you have a company Paymail and you have a personal Paymail, you can treat them separately as inboxes, and you can also send separately from those individual Paymails. So that is super useful. I think you will agree. So all of these tabs work, and it'll keep the state of which Paymail you're using at any given time. Now, I don't think this will work. If you just type in random stuff, it's just gonna say it's in an invalid Paymail in the console, basically. And if you try to add something that you don't own, like x@moneybutton.com, you'll see the console log tells you the hounds have been released. So it's not going to do anything. It's not going to break anything. Knock yourself out. You also can't read anybody's messages, even if you did somehow get access to an inbox that wasn't associated. For example, if you logged in and you switched Paymails and then you sold that Paymail whilst you still had an open session, and then somebody tried to send messages with that Paymail, basically you could read the inbox encrypted, but the decryption wouldn't work because it was encrypted to the wrong PKI, because as soon as you transfer the Paymail, the PKI changes. So that's really important. So this is not a security problem, this is a convenience thing. Anyway, so let's take a look when we're in MoneyButton mode. I just realized it keeps switching to dark mode whenever I log out, which is interesting. That's just because that's the default now. So apologies for that. That's just a small bug. So small bug, submit bug report. You'll see at the bottom here, chat support, that's in Telegram. Send questions to me over Paymail. But if something's not working, obviously you can't use Paymail to send a message to me. So you can submit bug report. So please give me your Paymail or some way of contacting you, because I've had a couple of bug reports already from people who have lost messages, unfortunately. It must have been during server downtime or something. And I want to make sure that I can go find this, because that data is on the blockchain somewhere. And for a few people, I've actually manually taken in the TX hash and, or rather the whole raw TX, and just injected it into Paymail, and that works fine. Or rebroadcasting works as well, the same op return, because it's all signed. Okay, so that's bug reporting. Multiple email notifications. Yeah, so if we go to settings here, you can see that I have different preferences for different. So example at moneybutton.com. I don't want people to send messages to my email via that. So I put my threshold at $100 just to demonstrate that you can set them very, very high, and that will work. But Deggen at Perbasis is my main one, and that's just $5. And you'll recall that RealAx, my Deggen at RealAx.io one is just 4 cents. So in other words, please message me at Deggen at RealAx.io because it saves me time. Okay, so you can delete these subscriptions and it'll ask you to confirm. I want to keep this, so I'm not going to delete it right now. But you can only delete the one which is associated with the current account you have open. So if I want to delete example, I'd go to example and you can see the delete button has switched. So those switch. You can only delete the one you're on. Okay, so what's next? Top of inbox. So top of inbox is actually now in threads. So if I go to, so this is my previous message, hello, there's no indication of top of inbox. So say this is rather than a few seconds ago, but this is a month ago, and you don't really know how busy this person is today. Well, now, as soon as you start typing the response, the top of inbox is indicated at the point which you need to use it. So you can just press that button, boom, now you're at the top of their inbox. As easy as that. So that's the new feature for top of inbox only. So unread only, and only that specific Paymail. It doesn't do a PKI wide. Okay, so let's talk about the Open Paymail protocol. So this is hidden rather than linked to at static Open Paymail external HTML. It's a single page website so that you can just copy the code. And in fact, I've added code at the bottom here specifically to allow you to set up your own Paymail producing merchant thing. Let's run through the process. So if you hit this page, what I want you to do, this just works with MoneyButton at the moment. I'm always working with the wallet teams to try and get things working across the board, but they have slightly different technologies, so it doesn't just automatically work with everyone. Oh, I wanted to log out of MoneyButton. And if you have multiple MoneyButton accounts like I do, what I want to do is set up my business MoneyButton, and then go back to this page to set the merchant. So I'm going to refresh to make sure the merchant is set to the correct person. Okay, so I'm going to set the merchant. That's the first step. Okay, merchant is set. So all I did there was sign a particular address, and I sent it to the Paymail API. So I've set Paymail at MoneyButton as my merchant, registered it as the app named Open Paymail app. So the next thing, this button here runs this code. So I need to set the Paymail. So now we want to flip into user mode. So I want to log out of my merchant account, and I want to log back into just my normal everyday MoneyButton account, and I'm going to refresh the page. So now I can set my Paymail as the user. So this is me arriving to this pre-registered merchant domain. So at the end of this demo, it sort of shows the whole code for what you need to be able to pull this off yourself. So the user comes to use your checkout. Presumably they've already signed in some way, but if not, you can just give them a quick MoneyButton to sign in. And that basically just sends you their Paymail, so you know where you're sending things. And then this is the code that's set up with this button. So it uses the Open Paymail library, which is going to be available on NPM once I figure out how to publish those things. And you can see there's a couple of functions it introduces here. But the point of this is it's supposed to be something that's familiar to you, with a couple of additions. So here we go, MoneyButton render. This is standard JavaScript for a money button on a website. And then the user button is just a button div target. And then presumably you have some sort of custom app data here. So, maybe your app has an op return that's specific to it that you're listening for, and it performs some action. And presumably there's some payment to you. Whatever it is, stick in your op returns and your outputs there as normal. And then using the spread dot notation, add the Paymail outputs like that. And that's the same with the crypto operations. Perhaps you have your own crypto operations that you need to do. Just spread notate Paymail.crypto operations, and that will add the necessary crypto operations for that Paymail. So that function should set you up so that you can do your own app stuff and add outputs and crypto operations that are specific to Paymail. That's all this button does. So that's it. Just to stop spam, the current sort of default is 5 cents. So that pays for something and sends a receipt to the person who just paid. So let's take a look at the inbox. And I actually need to be on the correct inbox here. Okay, a few seconds ago, Paymail at moneybutton.com sent me a message. It's a receipt notification, we know that. And there's just a read receipt that gets processed there. So you can see that it's from the Open Paymail app, which is Paymail at moneybutton.com. And this is a Paymail receipt for your purchase. So where does that come from? That comes from here. So it's a Paymail from a string, and all you do is add a string as the first argument and a value for the second argument. Easy, that's it. So hopefully that makes sense. Now that we've done that, we've done those 3 steps, you can see that this page has changed so that we can set up our own checkout page that includes Paymail receipts. So there's a script tag as normal. So at the moment, that's just hosted here. I think that'll probably be on NPM. I need to figure out whether that's a good strategy or whether I should host it myself. Once I've evaluated the security concerns in terms of getting lots of requests from people, the last thing I want is spam, obviously. But if we can enforce the amount, which my backend will do, and we can enforce which merchants are allowed to send these things, then I think that is perfectly safe to allow those messages into your inbox. So protecting your time is my main concern, and making sure that it's in line with that. But yes, devs can just copy and paste that code and it will produce the page that you see here. Or you can directly copy the page code if you want the entire thing, no problem. Oh, to use Open Paymail, you do need to whitelist your domain. Otherwise, my servers will reject your requests. Even just to apply to be a merchant, it will just reject the request. So please let me know if you're interested. I've whitelisted 5 or 6 websites already. I'm very happy to work with anyone who's sort of known in the space. Once the trusted group have proven that it works and I can make sure that I'm protecting our users' time, then I'll open it out so that anyone can register their domain. Another thing worth mentioning is I'm looking for some help in terms of, I can stop showing this. I am looking for some help. In particular, I'm looking for DevOps help. Although Paymail works really well just now, I need to get to know someone who knows how to do failover systems and things like that, load balancing, setting up services that are local to each geographic location and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in making sure that Paymail is working smoothly for our users, send me a Paymail, get in touch. I'd love to chat. I think that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to be working more on the inbox UI from now on this week. And I have a couple other projects that are growing arms and legs as well. So I'm sure you'll see more of me. And thank you very much for your time. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think of the video in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a pertinent question, Paymail me.